Hey guys, what's up? It's Card Shuffler 99 here. Today I'm going to show you guys an awesome trick. Before we get into it, make sure you enter our giveaway. We're giving away 12 Monarchs and a $50 Amazon gift card. But remember, it is ending in less than a week, so make sure you enter it by liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you comment at least one time on one of our videos, and notifications have to be on. That's the bell button right next to the subscribe button. Also, we will have a link in the description to our own official Amazon website. From there, we suggest some stuff you guys can get, and, click the link, see what you guys like. You can get anything from Amazon, honestly. Anyways, we're going to get right into the trick here. So, what I would do is I would have my spectator select a card. It doesn't matter what card they select. Let's just go with that one. They're going to take a look at it, right? It doesn't really matter if I see it or not. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it, and we're going to place it somewhere into the center of the deck, just like that. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give the deck a little bit of a cut. And over here, we actually have two cards. You guys can take a look. They happen to be the two queens. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take one queen, place it a little bit closer to the bottom, like there. The other queen, we're going to place a little closer to the top, right around there. So we're going to have a lot of cards in between, but I believe that your card is somewhere in between those two queens. So let's find out where these queens went. Get rid of the cards on top. So these queens, got I don't know, I would say around 20 cards in between them, around there. So what we're going to do is we got around 20 cards in between the queens. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to give the queens one more cut. All right? One more cut. So I would ask the spectator, take about half the cards, cut the deck there, right? And let's see if the queens can narrow it down a little bit more. So we're actually going to spread through the cards. And the queens narrowed it down to 3 cards. Well, not just any 3 cards. They not only caught the 2 red queens, but also your selection, the 6 of hearts. That's the trick, guys. Let's learn how to do this one. So, what you're going to need, a little bit of a setup here. So, you're going to need the 2 queens on top, and you're going to need 2 queens just off to the side, sitting there like that. Now, you can shuffle the deck if you would like. That's your preference. But the queens have to stay on top. That's all that matters. You can do a quick false cut, anything along those lines. But just make sure the queens stay on top of the deck. You can give it a riffle shuffle if you want. Doesn't really matter as long as the queens stay on top of the deck. If you want the spectator to shuffle it, you can. I would just recommend getting a break under the 2 queens, palming them off, right? They give the cards some shuffles, right? You just have this hand right by your side. You're palming the queens. And when you get the deck back, just place your hand there and put the queens back on top. That way it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable because they shuffled the deck, So anyways, from here, just have to make sure the 2 queens stay on top no matter what happens. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to have them select a card. Let's say they select this one right here. 3 spades. All right. So while they're looking at their card, right, they're looking at it, you say show it to everyone, they're showing it to everyone. What you're going to do is you're going to get a break under this top card, like that. And what you're going to do, I believe it's called Marlowe Tilt, is what you're going to do is you're going to place the card in the 2nd position. So you have a break under this card. Now, when you're doing this, they're looking at their selection. You're going to be making the break even all the way across your hand. So it just looks like a huge gap right here. And make sure when you're doing this, the cards are squared up and your hand's tilted a little bit back. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to start to place it in, right? And what I like to do is I like to move my index finger from here to here, and I like to knock a few cards around. And this makes it look like I'm really placing it in the middle. So when you knock a few cards out, it makes it look like you're placing it in the middle. From here, you're just going to place it at the bottom of the gap. And from this angle, it looks like you're putting it in the middle of the deck, when in reality, you're actually putting it right in between the 2 red queens, which is part of the setup. So from here, you're going to push it in, and then you're going to square up the cards. Now, from here, what you're going to do is cut a small portion of cards off the deck. Instead, we're going to give the deck a quick mix-up. Around 10, 15 cards. Doesn't have to be perfect. Has to be more than like 4 or 5. Has to be more than 4 or 5. So you cut a small portion off. That right there is fine. And you're going to hold a break right above it. From here, when you do this, you can ask them, hey, you can inspect the queens, make sure they're normal, and everything like that. They're looking at the queens. Just cut a quick small packet off. Or you could do it right in front of them. And you're going to hold a break right above that. So from here, what's going to happen is you're going to take 1 queen. And you're going to say, we're going to place this queen near the bottom. All you're going to do is place this queen right in that gap right there. Right? So right above the break. And then you're just going to get rid of the break right there. And you're going to say, we're going to place 1 queen near the top. Take this queen, place it somewhere near the top. Make sure they're face up. So basically, you're in a position where you have 1 queen near the top, another queen near the bottom, and the 2 queens in their selection right under this queen right here. So, once you push the queens in, you can let them push it in if they would like. Doesn't really matter. What you're going to do from here is you're going to start spreading through the deck. Now, this has to be done in your hands. It's very important because you're going to be culling some cards. So what's going to happen? You're going to say, all right, so I think the card is, your selection is in between the queens. So when you're saying this, you're just going to take the cards above the first queen, take them off, square them up, place it to the side, right? You say, I think your selection is somewhere in between the queens. Now, what you're going to be doing is once you get to the second queen here, you're going to have to cull the bottom 3 cards and steal it below this queen. So that's sort of what it looks like what I would do in the performance. Is basically I'm stealing these bottom 3 cards off below the queen. So you're spreading through. You say we're going to take the cards in between the queens. And you sort of want to make it natural, like you're just spreading through the entire deck. And you're going to hold this queen while the other cards slip under the queen. And you guys get a little bit exposed, but you can see I'm culling these cards from under the queen, right? I can spread through the rest, get rid of them, and square up the deck. Now from here, you're in a position, I'm going to go through that one more time. That looks like this. You got the 1 queen on top, 1 queen on bottom, and you have 3 cards here. So once again, you have some cards on top, some cards on bottom. You start spreading through. You see the first queen. Say, all right, so I think your card is somewhere in between these 2 queens. You're here. You're going to get a grip on the queen with your middle finger here and your thumb. And your thumb's going to hold the queen in place while you cull 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, like that. So all 3 cards are now below this queen while you're spreading through the deck, right? So it just looks like, you spread through the deck. Once you finish spreading through the deck, it just looks like, you have 1 queen, 2 queen, but really you have 3 extra cards right down here. So you're spreading through, you cull the cards, right? Just acting like you're spreading through, right? Just spreading. You say, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take all the cards below the queen, set them down right here, and really all you've done is you stole off the 3 cards, the queen and their selections. From here, you could have them cut the deck. Depends if you trust your spectator. I would rather just have, they could say stop. You lift exactly on that point if you want to be safe, or you can just cut the deck. But from here, you say, all right, I think the queens are going to eliminate all the cards except 1 card. From here, you go, you're going to cut the deck. Now, you can do what I did in the performance because I sort of trust myself to cut the cards, but you can place it down. But the only problem is if they cut the deck, and let's say they don't get a good grip, they could drop a few cards. They're going to be like, wait, where's the queen? So you don't want that to happen. So I would recommend just doing it yourself. Say, all right, we'll take about half the cards. Do you think that's half? Right? They say, okay, maybe 2 less. Cut the cards. From here, you can spread through and show. Well, first you're going to be like, all right, they eliminated all the cards except 3. It can show they cost the 2 queens, and their selection. That is the trick, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out.